Hey guys, it's me, and today I'm here with my Becca's Bookoplathon 48-hour readathon vlog. Yes. I'm filming this on Tuesday, which I should have done this yesterday, and I hate myself for not having done this yesterday because I woke up to the news that Naya Rivera's body was found. Love and strength was out to her family and her friends, of course, especially her son. But the news has definitely affected me as well. And oh my god, I'm gonna start crying again. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep this short because my heart is heavy, and I just can't believe that this happened. So yeah, but we're here for Becca's Bookoplathon, which happened over July 11th and 12th, over the weekend. It was a 48-hour readathon, my first 48-hour readathon, so yay. This readathon was hosted by Becca and the Books, who does every month. It's like a TBR game where she has like a Bookopoly board, and she rolls the dice, goes over with a thing, and then every square is like its different prompt for what to read, and she made a readathon out of that. And I put a spin in that. She changed up the board for 2020, so there's 2 boards you could pick from. There were in total 8 prompts done, and you could pick from the 2019 board or the 2020 board. We started with the readathon with 2 challenges, one for the 2019 board, one for the 2020 board, and then every 12 hours 2 new prompts got dropped. That's how this readathon worked. I really enjoyed participating in it. My goal was to read 4 books. It's total. I was like, this is not gonna happen, but 4 books would be ideal. 2 books a day. I'm a bit out of it. I'm sorry. I think I'm just gonna send you off to the footage I took throughout the weekend. Okay, hi, editing me here. I started off each update with a song from my current faves playlist, and this one that was here I'm gonna replace because I just don't think it was appropriate for what I talked about later in the vlog.
I didn't want to be a half-blood. I didn't ask to be a hero seeking praise. Being a half-blood, it's scary. It mostly gets you killed in very nasty ways. I didn't want to cause trouble. I'm just a player in more than played. And honestly, I'd totally be fine if I could make it to the next grade. It wasn't dirty socks or my stepdad. It was danger that I smelled. The day it all went down, the day I got expelled. Maybe you don't know what a half-blood is because your life is normal and happy and not constantly in danger. But my life, let me set the scene. We were on this freaky field trip. That's when the story should probably start. We were geeking out on ancient Greek at the New York Metropolitan Museum of Art. We stopped by all the statues and learned about the gods, the runner and my substitute, Mrs. Dodds. Hadn't done nothing wrong, wasn't rude, hadn't rebelled. On the day it all went down, the day I got expelled.
Time to pick a first challenge. Okay, so the first challenges that pull up is for the 2019 board, which was to read a paranormal and magical realism. Then for the 2020 board, it was to read a book, like it was a chance card, so that's to pick a book at random basically. And I don't technically have a paranormal or magical realism or TBR, so we're popping out the TBR jar again. It isn't the jar, it is a Funko Mystery Mini box, but it does the job. Let's shake it up. Woo, one fell out on its own. That doesn't count. Okay, let's go in. And I'll pick this one. I went from the bottom, so hopefully it's something good. Oh god, I'm nervous. I'm so nervous for this. Okay, what does it say? Oh! Okay, yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna read that. Children of the Whales Volume 1 by Abi Umera? I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. So, Children of the Whales Volume 1, which it's very funny to come up doing Becca's Bookoplathon because the only reason I bought this is because I've heard Becca talk about this. Because it's the perfect way to start off a 48-hour readathon. Are you kidding me? It's a graphic novel, a manga. I'll read this in like an hour, maybe a little bit more, but I'll read this pretty quickly. I'll read this before I fall asleep. I'll also tell you about what I was gonna read for the paranormal challenge because I'll probably get to it now. In the middle of The Blood of Olympus by Rick Riordan, which is the last book in the Heroes of Olympus series. I am 200 pages in, but we're... how do you make it small? We're about an hour away from the readathon starting, so I'm hoping to read a little bit more from this before that. And yeah, then I do think I'll be able to finish it because I would have started this from the beginning. This is 500 pages long. I wouldn't have gotten it on the readathon, but I do think I'm hoping to get at least 50 pages of this book read before the readathon starts, so that will leave me with 250 pages left. I think I could do that together with this, which would immediately knock out 2 challenges, which is insane. By the way, this is technically a fantasy novel, but it takes place mostly in the real world, so it's paranormal, you know. I love it you once the readathon has actually started and I've read something, you know. Bye. I'm back again. Not a song I had to cut, I'm sorry. I just realized how many songs deal with that. So.
Did you hear the word? What's the word? He's a-coming. Who's a-coming? Paul's a-coming. Paul's a-coming. The star of the show. Now for his headlining entrance. Times his spoon and his leading menaces. His name is in the title. He's destined to go viral. Here he is. His name is Paul. And so now... Where the fuck is he? I have no fucking clue. The guy just doesn't let you go.
I'm here with a reading update. It is a little bit past noon for me. If I remember correctly, it's about a half hour left until the next prompt get revealed. Oh well, but I'm here to update you on my reading. Let's go. First of all, I read Children of the Whales, Volume 1 by Abby Yumida? I don't know. I can't pronounce anything. So, book follows a main character who lives on this mud whale, and their entire lives they just live on this mud whale, and whenever islands floated by, they're going to explore, but they've never come across like other humans. Then one day there's a new island floating by, and they go to explore it, and they find a girl who also just seems to know more about the world than anyone on this mud whale. I give this 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I really liked our characters. I really liked this world. I really liked the art style. Only reason I gave this 4 stars instead of 5 stars is because I felt like this was very much a setup for what's yet to come, which makes sense. But yeah, that's why I dropped a star before the rest. I really enjoyed this, and it kind of took me by surprise because the only person I've ever heard talked about this manga is Becca from this readathon. But then I actually woke up way earlier than I expected. I put my alarm clock for 10 a.m, which is still earlier than I normally wake up because I've been having sleeping problems. But I wake up way earlier. I woke up around 7:30, which is insane. Like on my peak of my sleeping problems, that's the time I went to sleep. So, but I did immediately get to reading, and I finished The Blood of Olympus by Becca, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. This series is a bit difficult to explain right now because there's so much going in front of it, but it's a spin-off from the Percy Jackson series. It follows Greek and Roman mythology, and yeah, I really enjoyed this last book. I've heard a lot of people talking about this series finale saying that it was disappointing, and when it comes towards like the final battle, that was very disappointing. I agree. That was just, it was over in like 2 chapters, and I just felt like there could have been more there. But I mainly been on this ride for the characters. I've grown to care about these characters so much, and I feel like in the last book we spent a lot of time developing characters and getting them over like their biggest fear, like their biggest weakness or whatever. So seeing them play into like all of their full strengths in this book just felt so satisfying, and I liked where every character ended up. But when I finished that around 10:30, I believe. Could have been a little bit later. I don't remember. I think I finished it somewhere between 10:30 and 11. And so I've been reading nothing since then. I've been taking a little break, watching Netflix and YouTube, because I don't want to start a book then have it not count towards any of the challenges. And I'm excited to see what the next couple of months are. I'll share it with you then as well to tell you what I'm reading. So, bye! We're almost at 5:30 p.m. right now, still on day 1, and I'm killing it because I finished another book. So I showed you the two challenges. I showed you the two challenges that were announced at 1 p.m. and I started with the 2019 board, which was to read a culturally diverse book. And for that, I picked From Twinkle with Love by Sanjay Menon because this follows an Indian main character and it has more people of color in the cast of characters. And I've just been meaning to read this for a while, and I got around to it. It's also one of the shorter books on my TBR. This book follows Twinkle. She wants to get a career in filmmaking, and at the beginning of the novel, like this sort of like film festivals happening at her school. I don't really know what that was, but for that festival she decides to make a movie, and she ends up partnering with this guy who's actually the twin brother of the guy she's had a crush on like for years. And yeah, it's a YA contemporary. I think you can tell where this is going. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't my favorite. I just didn't really like Twinkle for a big chunk of this book, which also made me like care less about the romance. But I feel like just the book, I think the narrative was trying to excuse her behavior too much in certain moments where it was just like, I don't like that. She's being really mean for no absolute reason, and we shouldn't give that a pass at all, even though technically this book is her diary, so it makes sense why she would be like excusing herself so much. But in a way I'm just like, I'm not vibing with that. For the rest, I did really enjoy it. I liked the cast of characters. Every character was very well developed and jumped off the page really tell, like, oh, that's that character, you know? Wouldn't be confused by, like, the big cast of characters. I really liked this. Actually felt like I was reading a diary in some way, because, of course, when you write a novel in, like, a diary format, it is going to be more detailed than the average diary, but I still, like, Twinkle's voice was so present and everything that it still kind of felt like her diary. Then, for the next prompt, picking a bit of a bigger book. I don't know how many pages this is. Oh, it's still under 400, so that's alright. And I'm hoping this will turn out in my favor. There's the fourth prompt, which is the second prompt for the 2020 prompt, was to read a viewer recommendation book, which basically just means a book that's been recommended a lot. So I picked out one of BookTube's favorite books, Let's Nevermore: The Trials of Morgan Crow by Jessica Thompson. I'll report back to you about that. Let's update you on reading. Last night, I just managed to finish The Trials of Morgan Crow before I just fell asleep. I literally closed this book and I fell asleep. Basically, this book follows Morgan Crow, who is a unlucky child, or at least considered an unlucky child. Everything bad that happens in the town is somehow contributed to her. And then on the day she's supposed to die, which is also her 11th birthday, she actually gets whisked away by Juniper Nord to Nevermore, where she's participating in trials to like get into like this elite school kind of thing. Yeah, I give this 4 to 5 stars. I actually really enjoyed this. It's not perfect. I did have some problems with it. Like, just Morgan was very, like, it's not that she wasn't likable, she just irked me a lot in certain moments. I'm assuming that's because she's only 11 and I'm older. I'm just like, get your act together, girl. I just think it is such a fun read. It also has some darker elements to it, which I like that balance. I actually really like the cast of characters, with just very colorful characters, if that makes sense. The world is also very interesting, and yeah, I will definitely be picking up the sequel because I'm intrigued. I only managed to look at the new prompts when I woke up, so I've only just started the book, and I've gone for the borrowed, like, it's the gifted prompt, which is from the 2020 board, if I remember correctly. And I picked the book I got from the library because borrowed books also counted. And I picked Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Rennie Lodge. I think that's how you pronounce that. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce anything ever. I'm 40 pages in. I'm really enjoying it, as well as a non-fiction about systemic racism in the UK. I picked this because it was the shortest book that I got from the library. I am hoping to get through 2 books today. Are You Tired of Me Yet? This time I didn't have to cut it because of the topic of the song. I just had to cut it because the audio was messed up. So I'm doing the same thing.
All our food was in there, all our clothes are in there, all our food was in there. Sit tight. I made an itinerary for any adversary done from the quest of heroes past. It's right here in my pocket. It's where in your pocket? Oops, it got busted in the blast. What did it say? We got lost to Los Angeles. We're not on the bus to Los Angeles. We blew up the bus to Los Angeles. So what are we supposed to do? Wait for another bus? What if we blow up that one too? We're lost in the woods, somewhere in New Jersey, and we're never gonna make it to LA. We're lost, and it won't stop raining. Let's just go. No, not that way. No food, no phone, no adult supervision. We're lost in the woods, and we'll never leave New Jersey. And none of us are making a decision.
So it is already past 7, and it took me a pretty long time to finish this book. I'm no longer talking to white people about race. We'll just give it 5 stars. It took me a while to read this book. It's non-fiction, so there's no dialogues. It's speed up the pace, you know. But I give it 5 stars. I really loved it. I think it just talked about these issues in such a comprehending way. For everybody, I really liked the writing style. It was very easy to get through, even though it took me again longer than I expected to get through this. It made me think about everything, even though that a lot of the topics already knew about. It still made me think about like new perspectives. I felt like the author drew a lot of her own experiences in this book, which I really liked. And then I'm reading My Dog Vanessa by Kate Ellsworth Whistle, which is gonna be my last read for Readathon. I'm actually reading this pretty quickly as well. I'm on page 78. Just haven't had a lot of chances to read yet. I'm hoping to be able to finish this before midnight. I'm kind of doubting it, but I'm hoping it will work out. This book follows Vanessa. I don't know why I looked on the back for her name. It's in the title. We follow Vanessa, who as a 15-year-old had a relationship with her English teacher, and now she is an adult and more allegations against this teacher are coming out, and she's questioning her relationship with him because originally she just saw it as something romantic and a real relationship, you know. I'm gonna be very uncomfortable reading this, but I've heard many great things about this book, so hopefully that will work out. This will count for the mystery thriller category and the contemporary romance. Oh, romance. This definitely isn't a romance, but it's contemporary. And Goodreads has it listed as a thriller. I so far haven't figured out why it's a thriller yet. I'll be with you again later. Bye. Okay, so this is filmed at the same time as the intro, so I'm sorry for being a little bit short and really not into it because my mind isn't here right now. Just quickly gonna go over everything that I read, which challenges they counted, and my star rating. So started off the Readathon by Children of the Whales Volume 1 by Abby Mida, which counted for the 2020 board chance card challenge, and I ended up giving this 4 to 5 stars. Then I read like the last 200 something pages of The Blood of Olympus by Rick Riordan, which counted for the 2019 board challenge to read a paranormal or magical realism, even though it's a stretch, and also for the 2019 board challenge to read a YA fantasy, which fits more with this book, and I ended up giving this 5 to 5 stars. Then I read From Twinkle with Love by Sandra Menon, which counted for the 2019 board challenge to read a culturally diverse book, and I ended up giving this 2 out of 5 stars. Then I read The Trials of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend, which counted for the 2020 board challenge to read a view of recommendations, because this is one of BookTube's most popular books. I ended up giving this 4 to 5 stars. Then I read Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Winnie Edel Lodge, which counted for the 2020 board challenge to read a gifted book, which for that challenge borrowed books from the library also counted, and I got this one from the library, and I ended up giving this 5 to 5 stars. And then lastly we have My Dog Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Whistle, which counted for the challenge, the 2019 board challenge to read a mystery or a thriller, and the 2020 board challenge to read a contemporary or a romance. Of course this counts for contemporary, not romance. And I'm not finished with it yet. I have like 50 pages left, but yeah, I didn't manage to finish that within the Readathon. But I did count those challenges finished because I only have 50 pages left and I couldn't finish it. I took like a break in the middle of this book because it was making me so uncomfortable that I just couldn't continue for a while. And if I hadn't taken a break, I would have finished it, which just kind of makes me a little bit upset at myself for taking a break, but I definitely needed it. So yeah, that's all I read during this readathon. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of these books, if you've read them, as well if you participated in this readathon, how did you do? And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Good.
Here I am again, the same old situation. What does